Hey there, Russell Traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the Russell recap for February 5th, 2014. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Please always make sure you have a solid trading plan and never move your stop when placing a trade. Jumping into our four major indices for the day. See, we had a lot of chop action sideways, giving us the best opportunity of the day. Was really inside the range. If this is your type of style of trading, again, a lot of people decide they want to get in and out of the market. Mine is more of a precision approach, waiting for that setup where the momentum of the AD line together with the 25-minute open range, market indicators, and taking contracts off on the way down or the way up. Here we can see the ES and the YM having very similar actions at the top of their 25-minute open ranges. The NASDAQ pretty much staying inside the most of the day. And again, the Russell, very much like the NAS, offering the best opportunity in the first hour, hour and a half of trading time, and the remainder of the trading session staying inside within the 25-minute open range, which kept me out of the market today. What really led me into today's trade and why I took it at the time, we could see the tick was pretty much split and flat for the day, even though the market was red from the start, from the opening bell. We could see that the AD line here was really the driving force, starting under the negative 750, depicting a downside downside momentum. As we could see, market did pick up towards the afternoon session or mid-morning session and pretty much splitting hairs towards the rest of the day, but never really being able to break upside to the negative 750. Here we can see out the layout of the land and the map. Here we have the market breakdown in the opening bell, and as we can see on the Heiken Ashi EMA crossover, nice solid body with the tails dragging down, which would have offered a nice opening trade to the short side. Again, for me, it's waiting for this 25-minute open range and direction with market internals. Here on the 513.2180, we did have a crossover, but didn't happen until a little bit after the 534 EMA crossover, which didn't leave you much, but ticks are ticks, folks, and you were able to break underneath the 25-minute open range as well and get a little piece of that. So, with market action pulling up back inside the 25-minute open range post half hour, for me it was a question, are we breaking to the upside or breaking to the downside? Red was the color of the day. So for me, it was about coming underneath the Camarilla L4 and the weekly S3. So 1085.5 was really the momentum that I was looking for the downside. Here we could see that my momentum zone number 1 for the short side was going to be underneath that line. If we had, as you see, chopped action again over the remainder of somewhat the morning session, if we had gotten below the 1 hour open range low, I was looking for momentum zone number 2 short down here for a re-entry. As price action came back up, back into the open range, straight up to the daily gap and across, bouncing really in between the 25-minute open range and the post 30-minute pivot. Any long position would have been above here in the momentum zone long, 25-minute open range high, but as we could see, the AD line really never poked above negative 750, so we really weren't headed in that direction. So all my thinking for the day was in this area and focusing on what trade was going to come underneath to the downside, underneath the weekly S3. And as we could see here on the EMA crossover, again, price action had come back up inside the 25-minute open range. Entry number 1 could have been right underneath the 25-minute open range here, but the preferred entry was under the weekly S3 and, as we could see, under the Camarilla L4. And as it played out well to the downside to the 1 hour open range, watching the AD line really come downside, moving this market to the 1 hour open range low, offered an awesome opportunity on the EMA chart. So we could see here both of the EMA crossovers. We have a 513.2185 breaking under the 1321.80 already up here in the zone. So this is the first trade setup that I'm looking at of the day. We could have had an early entry under here, as shown here on the entry number 1 underneath the 25-minute open range. But again, I was looking for an entry under weekly S3 and Cam L4, which was 1083.5. And so with 1086.7, 1085.3 as our second level, and there we go. And so entry underneath here on the first bar offers us a good 60 tick to the downside. I already had the crossover on the 4 EMA chart. I had the crossover on the 2 EMA chart, the 5 and the 34. Market internals are in the negative 750. All three markets are in the red. The AD line is down. I have a crossover on both EMA charts, and I'm already underneath here. That was the perfect trading opportunity setup for me, and wrote it down with contracts on the way off. First here, and then down to the support lines and down to the open range. Eventually taken out on the stop with a trailing runner, and that offered the best trading opportunity for the day, as we see can price action really bounce back up for the remainder of the session. That's it. That was pretty much of a chop session the rest of the remainder of the trading day, and kept me out. Happy to get in on the early morning. Always looking for a precision entry, and had it gone to the upside, would have been happy to go above that open range high, but never got to that. So again, once again, the AD 750 line really helping me out, whether it's to the upside or whether it's to the downside. Above 750, below 750 is really that momentum indicator that allows me to get in and out of this market. That concludes today's wrap. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My mantra is to know one thing, know it really well. Rings true for all markets, whether you trade the ES, Apple, Google, Facebook, whatever it might be. My plan will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. Only trade what's in front of me and on my charts. Hey, all, have yourself a Blue Zone day.